Right.
So when you think about all of these questions that you've heard, all of these questions that you've asked, all of these questions that you've questioned, what is one or two questions that you would force people or require people that are listening right now to ask themselves?
How do you want to make an impact in this world, and what's important to you?
Welcome to another episode of Around the Way podcast, where we help you get around your obstacles and find a way to redesign your life. We are here with the goal master, the man with the plan. Ryan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. So happy to be here with you. And fresh off a run, feeling good.
Good. So talk to me about who you are and what impact you're making into the world.
Yeah, a little bit about me and what I do. So I'm most passionate about goal setting and helping people build the foundation for sustained success. I believe that starts by getting a pen and a paper and writing out what it is that you want to accomplish. And I believe that that's something that I discovered the power of my freshman year in college. So back in 2011, 10 years ago now. And it's something that I wish I would have known about when I was 12 years old versus 18 years old. And that's something that now what I do is I work with students and professionals and teach them the power of goal setting and what it brings to your life. It brings focus, drive, and direction into your life.
What is a goal? Define that for me. Because I think that a lot of people just throw out like, we got to have goals. We got to set goals. Like, what is a goal?
Yeah. So, man, a goal for me, I could be as simple as, something that you want to accomplish. But I think the question is, how do you want to make an impact in this world? And from there, if I asked you, hey, Kyle, how do you want to make an impact? You'll start firing off a bunch of things. Maybe it's, I want to, build affordable housing for teachers, something you're working on, right?
Definitely.
Okay. So so a goal from that, okay, hey, I need to secure funding. How do I make that impact that I want to create happen? And then that's what drives your goals.
So essentially, and anybody listening right now, I need you to pull out some paper or a pen, because a lot of times there's a misconception where words are just thrown out, right? Who has a vision? Probably everybody on here. You want to be able to accomplish some type of dream. The goals are the action steps. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
When you think about a lot of the goals that you've set for yourself, what is the one that you didn't achieve that shook you the most?
The beauty of goal setting is that it's not a perfect practice, right? There are goals every year. So going back again, I started this in 2011. I have a book, I call it my success book, with every goal I've written down every year for the past 10 years.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
That goes everywhere with me.
That's consistency.
Yeah. And I look at it, and every year, like two of my favorite days of the year are the day where, I'll do my annual goals review, and then I set my goals for the next year. And in that annual goals review, I'm going ahead and looking at, okay, what did I accomplish? What did I not accomplish? Why did I not accomplish those goals? And I embrace those failures, if you will, because I can assess, okay, where did I go wrong, or why didn't I get there? What adjustments do I need to make to get there next year? So one in particular that I really struggled with that I'm proud of myself for now, it's something that I accomplish now regularly, is reading 12 books a year.
Okay.
Simple. 1 book a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
What's the average person, about six books or 3 books a year?
I don't know. It's a good question. I'll have to look that up. But you think, okay, Ryan, read 1 book a month. But and for the longest time, I'd written that on my goals list, and there was an X. And it's because my daily system, wasn't aligned to the goal. Meaning, if you have a goal to read 12 books a year or run 500 miles a year, you need to have a daily system that incorporates reading or running, because you can't wake up on December 31st like, oh, I'm going to read 12 books.
Like, I'm going to run 500 miles.
I'm going to run 500 miles today, and we're going to cross it off. Like, so the big revelation for me with goal setting has been, goals are great, but it's about the system.
That's an interesting perspective. Yeah. And it reminds me of something that I heard before, that when you're trying, like, success is about baby steps. Success is a process. Healing is a process. When you think about going to the gym and working out, right? You can't go to the gym for an hour today or 3 hours and expect to be fit tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It's a process of going for 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day over a period of time, maybe a month, maybe 21 days, maybe 3 months, whatever the case. And then slowly you're going to start to see a transformation. But success is like the working out process. And as you think about your life and as you think about the current season that you're in, what is something that you're working out that you haven't figured out yet?
Something that I'm working out that I haven't figured out yet. I think, this has been a really pivotal year for me with WonDay. So that's the business that I'm working on growing. Mm-hmm. I'm learning a lot about growing a business right now.
For sure.
Because all these things that I'm talking about with goal setting, systems, it's stuff that's worked for me. Now I'm learning, okay, how do I make this work for other people? How do I get this out to the masses and actually convert everything that I've said and done into a product that other people can leverage and utilize? And I think that's it's just a big learning moment for me, because in my head it's something that's simple, but making something simple for myself, simple to everyone, and actionable for everyone it's a little more difficult than I thought. So that's why I'm glad that we're working together.
Definitely,
because you're helping make this thought process and just system overall simple for me, so I can make it simple for other people.
The service that we pay is the rent that the service to others is the rent that we pay here on earth, right? And you said something. You said all of the things that I've done, now want to be able to show other people how to do it. Why is that important to you, to show others how to do what you've already accomplished?
Because I know the power and the impact that it's had on me. If I didn't discover the power of goal setting and having mentors in my life, surrounding myself with the right people, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation, Kyle. I probably wouldn't even know who you are. And I think that, and again, going back, the reason why we're having this conversation, the reason why I'm at where I'm at, is by just simple steps. Pen and paper, boom, every day, looking at it. And I want other people, I feel like that's not something that we learn about much in schools. And I want other people to just understand, what this can do for them and how it can change their lives. And then the other thing too, I've got a little bit of a deeper why behind this too. Growing up, our family life, there's been a trail of alcoholism and just rough issues that have, superseded generations. And had I not gone down this trail, I very well could have been the next one. And I refuse to let that happen. And I know a lot of people that have also been in these same shoes where, there's generational curses, if you will, that they're going to be the next ones unless they hear a message like this, unless they know the power of taking control of your life and how simple that really is. So those are my driving factors.
During the pandemic, there was a rally here in Charlotte, and it was rallying for George Floyd after he was murdered. And I gave a speech, and there was a young man. He was holding a sign, and he said, "Will I be the next one?" And through my speech, I called on the young man, and I said, "You will be the next one. You'll be the next doctor. You'll be the next engineer. You'll be the next this," right? And I love what you're saying, because it's a power. There's power in self-reflection. There's power in looking at my current circumstance, understanding that my circumstance is not my conclusion, and my calling that God has put on my life is so much more powerful than where I currently stand. Why is it important for the people that you serve to not be the next one that is creating another curse, but to be the first one that is operating in their calling?
It's important because, one, they're gonna break the chain, right? And the other thing too, I really believe in the compound effect.
Talk to me about that.
So all it takes is one person to be able to impact 10 people or 100 people. So meaning, the best messages that I receive from people, like where I get the most joy, the greatest accomplishment in my life, It's not the awards that I get. It's when someone sends me a message and says, hey, Ryan, I saw what you put out, and now I started writing down goals, and this is how it's changed my life. That person is going to tell someone else about how they've changed their life.
Exactly.
And now, all of a sudden, because of what I've done in my life, hey, I helped that one person. That one person that just sent me a message might help 10 more people. And they might help 20 more people and 30 more people. So I think that, I'm so motivated by the fact that all it takes is one person, and you can really influence an entire generation. And I know that through this, I'm influencing more than one person, but really it goes back to one person.
There's such a matter of humility when you say that, right? Because a friend of mine years ago said, I don't care if one person shows up to your event, 100 people show up to your event, or 1,000 people show up to your event. Who's ever in that place, you have to impact them, because you never know who they're going to impact. Mm-hmm. As we think about what you want to accomplish in the next 5 to 10 years, what does impact look like for you?
Yeah, so I have a vision board, and that's really what feeds my goal board. And my vision board.
So you have a vision board and a goal board?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the vision board, the way that's structured, I've had a mentor that he said, hey, if you're sitting on the beach, 60 years from now, looking back on life, like what would you want to do? What would you have wanted to accomplish? And then from there, you fill in those boxes. Okay, so, and you go backwards. So I've got a vision board that goes out, 3 decades right now.
Wow.
Yeah, and right now I'm in my 20s. It's gonna be my last year in my 20s next year. Crazy. But so my 20s box, got a lot of those accomplished. But looking at the next 5 to 10 years, so 5 years out from now, what you're going to see from Ryan Cass is I will have some sort of youth leadership development center established where students can come after school, and that's where they get their goal setting fix. That's where they learn about financial readiness. That's how they can prevent themselves from taking on so much financial or student loans like I did, because I didn't know. And that's where, again, it's going to be a place where they can come and not be the next one in their family to carry on some sort of curse. It's going to be where they can go to become the first one that's going to go to college, or the first one that's going to become a doctor, the first one that's going to start a business. So that's one thing you're going to see. Another thing that I'm working on the side is setting up passive income streams. So because in that 50s box, all that's in there right now is literally, it says, be the best man, father, husband, leader that I can be. Wow. There is no more working in there. How do I make that happen? I've got to take steps now to ensure that, when my 50s come around, there's no more having to actively work.
Yeah, it's no more hustle.
So exactly. So it's taking the income that I'm earning through this and setting up passive streams through, investing in real estate. And these are things that I can pass on to, my kids and the future generations and their generations, et cetera. So those are the big things that I'm focused on in the 5-year box. Going into the 10-year box, it literally says ability to quote unquote retire if desired. I won't ever retire, but
what does retirement mean though?
Yeah.
I feel like retirement for so long meant like I'm just gonna be fat and sit on a beach and get ready for death. What does retirement mean to you?
I think it just means being able to do whatever I want without having to worry about any bill or really just financial freedom really is really the way that I see it, because the impact that I'm talking about, that never stops. I'll be helping people with goals and financial readiness and really just building the foundation that they need to be successful in their life until I die. So whenever that day comes, I will keep doing that. That is ultimately what I'm here for.
We put a lot of our life's meaning on our goals, our dreams, our vision. What if it doesn't happen the way that you see it in your mind? What would that do to you?
If it doesn't happen, sometimes life throws things at you that you don't know are going to come. And I think that if it doesn't happen, that must mean that there's some other purpose that I'm being pivoted to that I don't know about yet.
What is one, you know I was coming to this, what is that one thing that you thought was going in one direction, but it knocked you on your ass to be able to put you in a different?
Well, no, man, I could think of a few. I could think of a few right here. Mm-hmm. But, for instance, I thought that, I was kind of heading down the marriage track at one point in time. Actually, I'm really glad you asked this question because I haven't shared this story to a lot of people. But yeah, coming out of school, I was dating a woman that met sophomore year of college. We moved out to St. Louis together. I was working for Boeing, and she was going to grad school. It seemed like the stars were aligning. And then next thing you know, and obviously the plan was, okay, yeah, like we'll get married and have the kids. I'll be in the corporate world forever, and we'll have a great career. I'll be way up the chain at Boeing, etc. And long story short, I came home one day after, she was on like 6-week break from grad school, and everything was gone.
Hold on, what do you mean everything was gone?
I walked in the house thinking, I was like, oh, she's coming home from a month vacation. Like, I'm going to surprise her. I decorated the house and everything. Like, she was kind of acting a little weird leading up to it. So I knew something might have been up, but I didn't want to believe it just because I'm super positive all the time. I was like, man, there's no way, like she couldn't have done something bad, like done something she wasn't supposed to do. And so I got home from work and I'm like, man, why is the painting down? I figure I was like, yeah, she probably wants to do some redecorating or something like that. And I walk around.
No way.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is gone. And then the funniest thing, like I joke about this now, but women take up a lot of closet space.
They sure do. Drawer space, closet space.
No offense to any women listening here. So I walk in my closet and I'm like, what is all this space?
Oh my gosh, she cleared it out?
Gone. Yeah. And man, that hit me. Like, I was like, holy smokes. But you know what? That was a blessing in disguise, because what happened after that was 6 weeks later, Boeing calls me up. They say, hey, this rotation program that you're in St. Louis, we want to start it in Charleston, and no one's down there yet. We want you to be the first one to do it. And had that not happened with her, I would have said, well, my girlfriend's here for another year. I can't, sorry. And
it's interesting, just to pause for a second. It's interesting when she cleared out the closet of all of her stuff, God cleared a path for you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In this path, what was the one thing that you learned most in that season that you were in?
So it made me reflect a lot, and I learned a lot about myself. And not saying that I was like the most perfect man at the time, but I knew I was. No, I know I'm a good man. But what I learned and what I learned about myself there was I was like, man, I'm not taking enough time for myself. Like I was not valuing my self-care. I was working a ton because my original vision was, okay, I'm going to work, get up the chain as quickly as I can so that, hey, this woman that I thought was going to be the one, that we're set up as well as we possibly can be. And what I learned looking back was I was like, man, I was not as fully present to someone else as I could have been.
That's good. And
I prioritized work more than my own, health. And now I prioritize self-care. That's something that is on my goal board, like top theme every year. I take days off. I didn't take a real vacation from Boeing, Kyle, until 3 years into my career, and that's not something I'm proud of.
Oh my god!
But now, you ask me like, "Hey, you want to go?"
You've been all over the place.
You like, "Hey, you want to go somewhere?" Yeah, I want to go somewhere. Like, let's go. I learned a lot.
Why do you think it's important for people, and even somebody that is a 9-to-5er? I think it's this notion, especially with 9-to-5ers, to like work. I'm not going to take vacation. I'm not going to take PTO. If I'm sick, I'm still going to show up. but that company doesn't show up for you the same way. So why is it important for you to prioritize, like you said, your self-care and vacationing and taking time for yourself?
Because it's important to prioritize your self-care, because if you don't, how can you be your best self to your employer or to your spouse, husband, to your community? So I look back and I'm like, man, I wasn't being my best self. Now I am.
What does your best self look like?
My best self looks like, someone who every day, my ideal day is set up where I get up, I prioritize myself first thing in the morning. I get up early, I go and run, I read, I stretch, I take care of me. I don't wake up and go, okay, oh man, I got to get to the office right now. I take care of me first. And then when I get back from work, I take care of me before I do something else, for whether it's for WonDay or anything. I have it in my calendar. I have a reminder in my calendar on Monday that literally it comes up at 4:00. It says schedule personal activity.
Wow.
That's how serious I am about this now. Like, if you really want to, if you say self-care is important, like, put time in the calendar for it. And I'll do something every week. Sometimes it's literally just, hey, go kayaking or go take Izzy to the beach. Izzy's my dog.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So that's what my best self looks like, is taking, like, truly carving out time for me every day, whether it's for a workout, to get it in the community, to spend time with some friends, to read, listen to podcasts, learn, grow, relax. That's the best version of me.
That is such a you're probably one of the most structured and systemized people I know. I feel like a lot of my friends are just all over the place. That's probably why I'm all over the place. If all of this could change, like if you had the opportunity of being something and you wouldn't be judged, and it was completely different than your current career or your current trajectory, what would you do?
Oh man, this makes me think of the conversation with Danielle last night. I'm also the biggest clown you will ever meet. I mean, my sister's in here with us right now. She's shaking her head. I've thought about something like that.
Can we get a quick 30-second skit?
Oh man. If you give me a minute, I'll keep. I think I would do something like in acting or comedy.
I could definitely see you in a movie.
Yeah, like
I could definitely see.
Like I could like Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler, like those guys are hilarious. And like the Jim Carrey version of the Grinch, like I know every line. I mean, I could recite that thing. Like, yeah.
You want to go? Like, can we?
I mean,
let's do it.
Let's.
I could literally recite the whole movie in Troy, like word for word. That's like my jam.
Yeah.
Give me something. We got to give it. Just do it for for the fans.
Oh man. Okay. So. I don't know if y'all oh man, I can't believe you're making me do this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because so there's this scene in The Grinch where he has his voicemail, and someone calls him, or no, he's checking his voicemail and he's like, oh, that's odd, like no voicemails, huh?
You literally sound. That's crazy.
Let me check my fax machine. So then he hits the little thing, and he's checking. So then his voicemail recording comes up, and his voicemail recording is like, if you so much as mutter one syllable, I'll hunt you down and gut you like a fish.
Anybody listening
if you'd
right
like
now,
to leave a fax, press the star key.
Anybody listening right now, if you are in the movie business, if you are a producer, please bring this man on immediately. I have never seen that. Oh my God. That was perfect. We got to get you out of the gold business.
Yeah. If anyone wants to pick me up for an acting, I'll do that too.
Are you doing any acting classes?
No.
That was just like off the dome?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're
like seriously, I do this like all the time with my family and stuff. Like, I'm the biggest clown ever. Like, and it was funny. I was reading through one of my journals the other day about, like how I want to make an impact in the world like what I want to be known for. And I literally wrote down like the person who knows when to be the CEO and then knows when to be the class clown. That's literally like, that's in a journal I wrote down. I was reading through it the other day.
Talk to me about that balance though, because I feel like in life, we think we're only supposed to be one person. And I think it's interesting because people only see me as like Mr. King, the entrepreneur, instead of really just getting a chance to know Kyle. Like I like to have fun. Like I'd be singing and dancing. I'd be doing other stuff that I'm not going to say on the podcast. But I like to have a good time, right? But the world never gets to see that part. So a lot of times the image is judged, but then people don't really take the time to invest in the person, right? So talk to me a little bit about the importance of balancing the clown and the CEO.
Yeah. I think that, you can't always have the switch on, right? It's tough. And I think that, in bits and pieces, you should show who you are. Actually, this morning I did a photo shoot to get some more photos for my website. And I, purposely told the photographer, we took some silly photos and I'm going to post them and say, listen, like you can't be all business.
Good.
I want my audience to know. I want to start showing like some of the pictures I took today, which I'll post later. I mean, literally I'm on a swing, like upside down in business clothes. Cause I'm like, hey, when you invest in Ryan, when you work with Ryan, like you're not just getting this very, structured CEO. You're getting that, but then, hey, this guy's also like, I'm a human.
It's the actual person.
I just quoted the Grinch on a podcast. I would have never thought that I would do that, and so I think that, again, it's another thing that I do that helps me out is I audit myself all the time.
What does that mean to you?
So I reflect a lot, on, okay, how am I acting today? Not literally acting, but how, how am I being in the moment today? How am I taking everything too seriously? And I ask mentors too. I ask people that are around me. I say, hey, am I being too serious right now? Because sometimes I don't know. So I have to be intentional and ask other people like, hey, did I come across a little too stringent? What do you think? And I'm very intentional about asking other people the questions, and I tell them, don't hold anything back. It helps me learn and it helps me become more self-aware.
I think that's one of the things that I truly admire about you. Like you're really probably one of the only people that I know that ask a question and is really ready to receive whatever answer comes out. And whatever comes out, you're really a student and you're writing these things down. You'll have a few more questions so that you can have clarity, understanding, so that you can get better and grow. Why is it important for people? Because I think it's two types of people. It's people that ask questions just to validate how they already feel. It's kind of like somebody gets cheated on. I'm not tripping, right? And you're calling your friend just to like be on your side.
Yeah.
Or there's a person like you that I'm really asking a question because I'm really ready to receive the answer. Talk to me about people, the importance of people humbling themselves and asking good questions and being ready for the answer. What does that do for people?
Yeah, I think it, we have our thoughts, and our thoughts aren't always what we think isn't always the right thing, or what we think isn't always the answer. So it's important to seek out opinions, seek out, how other people perceive you in the moment, because you may think you're acting one way, but maybe I'll ask you like, hey Kyle, how do you think I was acting in that meeting? You're like, man, Ryan, you were off the wall. I don't know what was going on. I'm like, oh, well, to me, I didn't seem that way. So it helps. And then I'm going to ask you, okay, well, what do you believe that I could have done better? And it's important because if we're not asking those questions, the question I ask is, how can we actually get better?
Where did
how
you
can
learn
we
this,
get better?
Like, where did you learn this? Because this isn't, I think about average people, and not calling anybody average, but average people don't think that way, right? I think we think that way. It's like when I ask a question, I really want the answer so that I can grow. But a lot of people aren't really invested in their growth. So where did you learn this skill from?
Through mentors. Surrounding myself with the right people, surrounding myself with people that asked a lot of questions, because I wasn't the biggest question asker back in the day. One thing I've noticed, working at the Boeing company and seeing our executives, they ask a lot of questions. And then meeting with other people in the C-suite, other people that just I've come to admire and respect and learn from, you Kyle included. Like, they ask a lot of questions, and they're just very intentional about their question asking. So I was just like, I'm very inquisitive and curious, and that kind of led me in. I was like, hey, why do you ask the questions that you ask? I started questioning why their question, why they ask their questions. And then, so that was one. And then the other thing too, I love being a student. I love reading. I've learned about, coaching, and coaching isn't so much about prescriptions. For instance, let's say you have a goal in mind, to write another book, and you're working with me. I'm not going to prescribe you a bunch of things to go do. You have the answers. You know how to write the book. I'm going to ask you questions. Okay, Kyle, like, hey, why do you want to write the book? Or how are you going to structure your book? Because then that's going to get you to take actions.
That's good. That's good.
That's
You're speaking spicy,
right?
Yeah, this is what I want anybody to listen to. You don't go to the doctor when you're sick, and then the doctor brings you back and just prescribes you a medicine without asking questions. That was good. They ask you a series of questions. Even before you go back, they ask you all of these questions. What are you feeling? All of these different things before you can actually get treated. So now the doctor, the expert, knows how to lead this conversation, and then they're going to have questions, and they're going to run an assessment, and then based upon all of these factors, based upon their expertise, they're going to prescribe you with whether it's medicine or an activity to be able to do. But you have to trust the prescription that's given, because a lot of times you'll answer all these questions, then as the coach, as Ryan the coach, you give me my prescription. That's like a doctor giving you a prescription and you telling the doctor you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go get this medicine. I should do this medicine, but you're not the expert.
Right.
So when you think about all of these questions that you've heard, all of these questions that you've asked, all of these questions that you've questioned, what is one or two questions that you would force people or require people that are listening right now to ask themselves?
How do you want to make an impact in this world, and what's important to you? Because those two questions are what are going to give you your kind of guiding, driving principles, if you will. So if I ask, hey, what's important to you? And I want you to write all of that down. You're probably going to write family, community, write down everything that comes to mind. And then from there, because we have 50,000, 80,000 thoughts that run through our mind subconsciously. Obviously, we're not aware of every single one.
Yeah.
But we live in a time where we have, such an abundance of distractions, things going on in the world. So what's important to you? Okay, from there, pick those 4 to 5 things that are really important. So for me, it's my personal health, my professional career, financial goals, my fitness, and then WonDay. So now I don't wake up every day wondering like what I want to focus on, because I've already mapped out what's important to me. Now, how do I want to make an impact in this world? I want to make sure that students, don't have the financial burden that I did out of school. I want to help people set goals so they can build a foundation for success. I want to ensure that people don't become the next generational curse in their family. Now I'm going to write goals based off of that. And that's going to give me my focus, drive, and direction for the year, for the 5-year plan, for the 10-year plan. That's how everything comes together. You ask, what is important to me, and how do I want to make an impact?
That's so good. That's so good. My mentor, a few years ago, he asked, what are the top 5 things that you want most in life? And I think I've shared this with you. And at first, it was like there was a lot of other things and then we started working through the list. And now I've come to a really clear list of what those 5 things are. Number 1, I want to be an amazing father. So I only have one son now, but all of my children, I want to be an amazing father, amazing husband, and a person that I'm looked at in the community to be respected. Number 2, I want a wife that I'm proud of and that I can empower to be able to stand on that stage and rock a crowd. Number 3 is I want to build a sustainable community for disadvantaged or underrepresented people, to be able to give them free housing, free education, and equitable opportunities. Number 4 is my father. His mom died when he was 7. He never had a father. He grew up Jersey City projects, and he's really been able to live a life of service. So I'm going to open up called Maryland Manor to be able to be a home for boys, young men that lost their parents young. And number 5, I would love to win the Nobel Peace Prize for impacting 10 million kids around the nation. So everything that I do from a business perspective and from a personal perspective are those 5 things. Mm-hmm. When you think about the 5 things that you want most in life, what are those things for you?
Yeah, so first off, it's right in line with what you said. I don't have any children yet, but I'm going to be the best, man, father, husband, leader that I can possibly be. I think that, that's where I'm going to leave my legacy. I think that will be my greatest accomplishment. Not, again, the awards that I win or whatever list I make. It won't trump the impact that I have on my family and being there for my family. So that's first and foremost. And then next is, I'm just going off my vision board. Something that I'm going to set up later this year, but that will carry on, is I'm setting up the Ryan Cass Foundation, and I'm going to start setting up I will have a scholarship fund in my name for students in the Charleston area. That's where it's going to start. It's going to start small.
So when are you starting it? What's the first scholarship that you're going to give?
So right now, what I can commit to is $1,000 a year. And
can we match that? Yeah, we'll match it right here. Right here. And it's on air. So whatever you raise, we'll match.
I'm going to start doing at least $1,000 a year, and then as my business grows, as taking in more clients and more revenue, the proceeds will go, and obviously we'll be able to give out more scholarships.
So,
but those will be to kids in the Low Country, and then I will have a scholarship in my name at the Citadel. That's my alma mater.
Okay.
So those are the top. So that's 1 and 2. I already talked about my family, and then 3 is really having the passive income stream set up to where don't have to worry about anything financially, and again, not just for me, but for my family, for their family, and the generations to come. Those are really my top 3 right now. If you ask me.
Nah, 5 is tough, and I think I've done it so much where it's like I can spitfire the 5.
Yeah.
Anybody listening right now, I want you to really ask yourself, outside of cars, because even what Ryan said, he didn't really talk about income. He talked about passive income for the ability to be able to create generational wealth while also providing scholarships and opportunities for other people as well. So anybody listening right now, I want you to write down your top 5. If you could have anything in the world, what would those top 5 things be to be able to secure your legacy and your future? Secure your legacy and your future. I have a question for you, though, and this may be a little curveball. What does family mean to you? Because we talked a little bit about, and we've had private conversations as well, about the different things that you've experienced in the household growing up that have shaped you to be the man, the leader, the soon to be, husband, soon to be father one day, all of these different things. But what does family mean to you?
Oh man, I mean, family means everything to me. But on a deeper level, what does family mean to me? It's a good one. That's a good one. I haven't thought about it like what they mean to me, but how I've written down the type of family that I want to have. You know what family means to me? Family means connection. It means strong connection. It means that everybody is, closely knit, and that's a product of the household itself. So, for instance, I can't say right now that strong connection exists with my family, and it's a product of the system that we grew up in. The family that I will have in the future, we will have that tight connection because I won't be engaging in the same activities that my father was engaging in. I'm going to make sure that with my future wife that we're constantly communicating and that we're constantly watering the grass, meaning that we're keeping things fresh, because I think a lot of marriages fail because people be in love, or they think they're in love, and then they don't do any maintenance. Could you imagine buying a house with a nice lawn and then never watering the grass?
Yes, that's me.
Come on, Kyle.
I know. I'm sorry.
On.
That's why I hire people.
Okay, fine. Exactly. But like, think about it like that. Like, okay, can you think about, like, why did I just get this nice lawn and not water the grass? Meaning, why did I just get this awesome wife and then now I'm not going to do maintenance? I'm not going to take care of her? Like, no. Like, and then with the kids, it's ensuring that, they're seeing the right example growing up. My kids will not see the things that I saw growing up, and it's going to be because my wife and I are so close and we're constantly communicating. We're watering the grass. I'm not saying that there's not going to be road bumps. There's going to be road bumps. There's going to get things she gets mad at me for. There's going to be things that I probably get mad at her for. She's probably going to get mad at me for being a little kid, again, going back to that class clown thing. But to me, family is, again, it's my top thing, but it's connection is the word that comes to mind for me.
I think the thing that means the most to us sometimes hurts us the most as well. But it also shapes us the most. And I said earlier today that it's going to shake you before it shapes you. And if we look at the times where we were shaken up a little bit, it gave us the ability to be shaped a lot for other people as well. So as you're shaping this career, as you're shaping what you want as this image, as this man, as you're shaping futures for other people, it took you being shaken up a little bit.
Yeah.
When you think about this season that you're currently in, like right now, what is it going to take in your life? Or is it a who, or is it a what? What is it going to take to shape you to become the man ready for the next season?
I think at this point it's more of a who question, or a matter of who. Because where I'm going next, where I'm taking WonDay is, again, it's from the system that's worked for me to now, hey, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to schools. I'm coming for the masses. And it's a matter of who can help me get there. What rooms do I need to be in? What people do I need to be talking to regularly? I mean, that's why, I admire and appreciate you so much. And I'll come up here any time, just to sit down with you, even for 30 minutes, because you're helping kind of unpack a lot of the things that are in my head, that if I didn't have you around, I would be, going another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years like, man, I know I've got something, but how do I get it out? So to get me ready for my next season, it's to continue. It's a matter of continuing to surround myself with like-minded leaders, business owners, people that have been there, that have established these programs that I will establish and roll out to schools, and to organizations. So it goes back to who.
Definitely. I think you are gonna be a change agent. I believe it. I see it. I feel it even when I'm in your presence as well. So I appreciate your sentiment with everything that you've gained from me, but I gained so much from you as well. But I think about, even in this moment, bringing your sister here to witness this, right? And that the private conversations that we've had and how much she means to you. If you could, for 60 seconds, share anything with her, a message, something that you need for her to understand for the rest of her life, what would that be?
I think that, doing the these things that I talk about for other people, how to build the foundation for success and whatnot. You do those things. And when I say I'm not going to be the next person to carry on the curse, it's really, we're not going to be the next people to carry on the curse because of what we're doing now, because of doing these things, being intentional about surrounding ourselves with the right people writing down what you want to accomplish, we will not be the next ones. We are the first ones.
Anybody listening right now, what is their first step to not be the next one and to be the first one?
To not be the next one and to be the first one. It's, okay, where are you right now? If you don't make any change, what are you going to be the next of? If I didn't make any changes, I would be the next person to make an excuse for being an alcoholic and carrying on the trend of alcoholism in the family. Do you really want to be the next person to do that? Ask yourself, are you okay with being the next? Ask yourself that. I guarantee you the answer is no.
Exactly.
Who would want that? I think it's a matter of just, if you are in that position where you've dealt with generational curses and maybe you haven't been intentional about what you want to do with your life, ask yourself, do I want to be the next one? And I think that in itself is such a powerful question, and that's going to prompt action for you to make a change. And then survey, okay, who am I spending time with, and who is, because a lot of the people that are going to be the next one, it's because they're hanging around folks that are influencing those behaviors. Sometimes you gotta cut some people out, and it's all for the better. I mean, what's the Jim Rohn quote? You're the average of the 5 people. You're the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Exactly.
So, do I want to be the next one? No. Who am I spending time with? Are they influencing that next one mentality, or are they helping me become the first one? And then, what am I doing for my life? Am I being intentional? Am I writing down my goals? Am I doing anything? If not, okay, what's important to you? How do you want to make an impact? You do those things, you'll start heading down a different path fast.
Where can we find you online?
So you can find me on Instagram. My personal page is just Ryan A. Cass, so CASS. My business Instagram is WonDay Today, and that's WON, WonDay Today. All same thing on Facebook, just WonDay, Ryan A. Cass. LinkedIn. My website is onedaytoday.com, or you can just type in ryancass.com. And I don't want to hit on why I have it WonDay, WON. Mm-hmm. If I were to ask everyone that's listening right now, if you've said one day how many of you've started a sentence with one day I'm going to have XYZ, one day I might have this car, this house, and I told you raise your hand or nod your head. I know all of you are at least nodding your head right now. Yes, we've all said that. When that day comes, it's a win. So that's why I named it WON, and the slogan is win today.
That's good.
You do this stuff, you're going to win today.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anybody listening right now, anybody that's still here with us, I want you to not be the next one, and I want you to be the first one. I want you to look at your life. I want you to run an inventory. I want you to run an audit on all of your decisions, your family, the things that you've experienced that you do like, that you don't like, and then be able to look at your vision. And if everything that you've experienced is not in alignment with that vision, then it's time to get a mentor. It's time to make better choices. And it's time to change, because if nothing changes, you won't be able to make the change that you envision in your life, that you deserve to make in your life. I want you to overcome those obstacles. Even if you came from a background of pain, even if you came from a background of uncomfortability, I need you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it's up to you to help others. It's up to you to be able to impact others. It's up to you to be the person that you deserve to be, to become the person that you deserve to be. We are here with my brother Ryan from WonDay, and we want you to win today. Around the Way podcast. We'll see you guys next episode.